Right now on Full Custom Garage. Master metalman Ian Roussel built a chopper-inspired trike from the ground up.
The whole concept with this bike is giant rear tires, long extended forks, total 60s, 70s Ed Roth style trike. Outlaw stuff.
With his hand on the throttle, Ian's not slowing down.
It's all about making this thing look badass. You see a lot of trikes out there, and it seems like it's the look that they miss on. I really want to make this thing shine.
And later, Ian's wild ride hits the brakes.
Like most things, best laid plans never seem to come to fruition that easy. We're in Ventura, California. It's the Chopper Fest. Just looking around, see what's happening. I got a couple ideas of a bike I want to build, and I'm just seeing what's out there. Seems like the bike world's taken a couple turns in what's popular with style. For me, the 60s, 70s, the chopper thing that was going on is really the core of it. Traditional bikes have a really lean profile, and of course they got stretched out just to be crazier. That's what I'm into. I want to build a bike that reflects that. The thing I like about these bikes is it's all fashion. They probably don't ride that good, but damn, they look bitchin'. The forks are all stretched out, no suspension, rigid frames, really stretched out forks, just crazy ideas on wheels. A big part of the chopper scene were these straight four engines, Hondas, Suzukis. Denver's Choppers was building frames for these kind of engines, and I just think it's cool. I want to take that element of a really long bike, but make it a three-wheeler. Trike conversions have always been popular for motorcycles. It's really hard to get style into this three-wheel design, and I'm just gonna push my skills and try to make it happen. The whole thing I'm gonna try to do is build a trike that's badass. The problem I'm having with all the trikes I see is it just looks like a pile of stuff. It wasn't forethought. It just looks like they took a motorcycle front and stuck a car on the back. And I'm just trying to move through that. I want it to look like a motorcycle. My whole gig with the swap meet shopping is really just looking for anything cool. I'm not dead set in what I want to build, so I just might find the thing that sets the tone. Looking around at this swap meet, I'm thinking handlebars, seats, gas tank. If I can find some existing stuff from the 60s, it's going to make my job a lot easier. I'd rather not have to make everything. If I can find it at the swap meet, then it's just way more progress. I'm walking away from here with a lot of cool ideas. There's still haven't found the right parts yet. Chopper Fest is a great show. I got a bunch of cool ideas. After seeing a few trikes out there, I think there's room for improvement. I have an engine from a '79 Honda Goldwing. It's a motorcycle motor and transmission. I want to mate it to a car rear end. My friend Don, he's got all kinds of cars and trucks. The last time I was over there, I remember seeing a rear end from an El Camino. I think they'll be perfect for this trike. Yeah, this would be perfect. I'll just clean this up and bring it home. Trying to get this trike built in 2 weeks. There's a big bike show coming up. I want to bring this thing there. 2 weeks for this project is really fast. I've been thinking it through in my head. I got a lot of plans. I think it can happen. Good as new. The whole concept with this bike is giant rear tires, long extended forks, crazy paint job, total 60s, 70s Ed Roth style trike. Like crazy cartoon character just jamming down the highway, outlaw stuff. Trying to use parts that already exist, it's easy in some ways, but in other ways it's more difficult. They weren't designed to work together, but you know they do work on their own. For me, the process is having an initial idea and then just building most of it just kind of on the fly. So finding something that exists and modifying other pieces to work around that idea is the quickest way to do it for me. I need to take this whole axle apart so I can narrow it. It's got offset differential. I really want to make the thing as narrow as possible, so I'm going to have to shorten the axles individually. I want the tires real close, right up next to you where you're sitting. The coolest thing about the motor and rear axle on this is it's a motorcycle engine coupled with a car rear end. That's cool. The issue I'm facing is that the output shaft of the transmission is about 4 inches off center. I guess what I'm gonna have to do is narrow one side of the rear axle more than the other. I think the easiest way for me to figure this out is just mock it up with the tires and just see how narrow I can get it. This is the real deal. OG 1970s Krager SS. It just fits the whole 70s thing I'm doing. You can see how wide this thing is. It's just, I want something very compact. The thing I have to figure out at this point is I have my direct center where the 2 axles at this point meet dead center. This differential is gonna move over about 4¼ inches. So I think what I'm gonna do is make this axle 6 inches narrower than this one. Through all my calculations, it says that that is correct. I think something like this. That's considerably narrower. So you see the reason now, it's pretty apparent why I put these little legs on here, because they're all still at the same height. I can just move it, re-weld it. The axle housing looks perfect. It's got different length axles, it's offset a bit. I think it's gonna work. I narrowed the housing to what I needed. This bike has an offset differential, so I just ordered a couple axles that were machined to fit. So you can see, considerably shorter than the originals. This is the test fit. Hopefully it's good. It actually fits. Number 2. Well, I'll be. It actually works. Wow, I mean, it works. It totally works. I'm always hesitant to let stuff leave the shop, but the machine shop did it perfect. It looks great. It's gonna roll. This rear U-joint matches the rear axle, so that's a GM part. And I just happen to have this old U-joint from a 49 Ford laying around. So I welded them together so that it's like a miniature drive shaft. The thing about the U-joints is the only way I'm really gonna know if it works is after it's done. The shakedown run, that's what's gonna tell the tale. The way that I've been building things, it's really found objects. It's used parts, old stuff, things that really have no purpose being together. I could just buy a motor and transmission and rear axle from a supplier. They sell trike kits all day long. For me, the turn on is trying to get this thing together with all these unique parts that don't go together. I'm gonna go visit my friend Gary. He's an old school biker. I know he's got what I need.
I've been in this building here for 36 years, and he mentioned something about what he was doing and on a bike, and I said, wait a minute, I think I have something buried here that you could possibly use.
Long time no see, sir. Best thing about having friends like Gary is he's been around forever. He was doing the thing when this was popular, so I know he's got what I need. I'm coming to steal the forks I've been hounding you for 10 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice spy. Here they are.
Aha.
Yeah, I was gonna do a project with them, and I never got around to it. And no sense of letting them just die.
Right on. They're definitely old and used, but they got good grease in them. These are perfect, man.
I've reached a point in age where, you know, I got to start clean some of this stuff out of here. You can collect only so much, and then you go, what are you ever going to use it? No. The Z-bars?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are wall hanger.
Right. These are the real deal. These are old school. These parts are great. I just need one more thing. I looked right next to the ladder, and there it was, an Invader rim. That's an Invader rim, sir. What the heck? This is old school too, man.
That'd be perfect for that front end.
Tire looks like brand new. This is exactly the flavor that I was going for, man. You want the right stuff, you gotta go to the right people. Totally fits. It's exactly the combo.
I didn't even realize that.
It's perfect. The whole flavor of the thing is 1970s wild chopper stuff. So the forks are period correct, the handlebars are from that era, and I even got a front rim and tire. It's a good setup. Looks like it could have been back then. It's like a time machine. Well, it really helps, right? So I gotta polish all this stuff up, then assemble it. I mean, I'm not gonna re-chrome any of this stuff. It looks great. I'm just gonna clean it, steel wool it, polish it. I want it to look like it was from like a leftover, you know? Total survivor. I think these are perfect. I built this thing like 20 years ago. It usually sits in a corner, but sometimes I just ride it around, you know? It helps me think. It's really all the same thing. I mean, I'm just trying to get into some kind of a groove, get the feeling, and move forward. This is a creative project. There's no blueprints. The whole deal with the mock-up is that I could see it three-dimensionally. It's really hard for me to sketch something, but seeing it on the table, all laid out, I know what I'm looking at. The whole concept with the mock-up is being able to make changes. It's really hard to see what it's going to look like until all the pieces are in place. It allows me to adjust the wheelbase, move the handlebars, do my hair, you know, whatever it takes to make it right. Yeah, this is a little too low and stretched out. I'm definitely going to bring the tire in and the handlebars up. This is just the flavor I'm looking for. It's got that 70s chopper look. Thing totally came to life. I mean, it's still just sitting there on the table, but I'm already cruising on the highway. This bike has a solid rear end. It's a rigid, it has no rear suspension. I need a comfortable seat. I was looking around for seats, motorcycle seats, horse saddles, wheelbarrows, anything. That would almost work. Just upholster the whole thing. No ordinary seat's gonna fly for this. It's gotta be something really cool. That's not the seat. It's hard to know what this seat's gonna be, but I want something unique. It could be anywhere. People sit on a lot of stuff. Seats are around here somewhere. Just gotta find them. You know, it just occurred to me, I've been sitting, working for 10 years, 8 hours a day on this freaking work seat. I think it's perfect. I want the seat to be right on the axle. As soon as I put it in place, I was like, wow, it's low back, really wide. It's perfect. I'm gonna put the seat right on the rear axle, so I'm gonna bend a hoop and set the seat. That way I can sit on the axle, put my hands on the bars, and decide where they should be. Using this 2-inch round tube for the seat support, I'm building the whole frame out of this. It's 1/8-inch wall, it's super strong. I'm just gonna twist it up and make my own frame. So I made these two little saddles out of a 3/4-inch square tube. They're gonna sit right on there, and that should be plenty secure. What I'm looking for, kind of Kind of low, kind of forward. That way with the rigid rear axle, you know, you're not leaning back and it's not beating up your back. It's gonna be a pretty rough ride. So like this, at least you got your own little internal spring working. Wind in my hair, bugs in my teeth. Here we go. I'm just working through getting this frame welded up. I really want to spend my time on the bodywork and the gas tank. You're not going to see the frame at all. It's not a feature, it's just a structural element. It's got a rigid rear end. It has no suspension in the back. So the only thing that's going to give is the headset, the Springer forks. There's no shocks, so it's got to be a strong frame. I think I'm going to set up the top tube in the frame so that the gas tank sits above it. Like you see the Frisco style choppers with the gas tank above the frame. I kind of want to reflect on that. Most times you'll see like a straight backbone that comes through straight up into the headset. I put a little bend in it because I don't want a big like tunnel through the gas tank. I want to put as much fuel in here as possible. Because it's going to be a coffin tank, I was thinking it would just follow the line of this bend. You'd have a big open shape that held a lot of fuel. So this is the look I'm going for. I see the 2-inch tube backbone, 1.5 inch uprights, and then I'm putting a big gusset around through the headset. I'll weld it in all the way around, so it's big, chunky gusset holding the headset in place. The whole idea of the trike, it goes back to when I was a kid. I mean, all the cool kids in the neighborhood, they had big wheels. Everything I build with these far out proportions, it all goes back to that. When I grow up, I'm gonna have the craziest freaking trike or the wildest hot rod ever. Coffin gas tank is iconic. Late 60s, 70s, chopper stuff. I want to build a coffin tank just like I saw in the magazines. So this is the start to the gas tank. Just laying out a couple quick measurements of what I want it to be. At this point, I'm just eyeballing it. You know, I'm putting out a center line, I'm setting up the top dimension of the tank, and I'm just gonna put it in the sheet metal brake and fold it, see how it looks. The main reason for using cardboard or hard paper is that you can create a 3-dimensional mock-up of what you're building. It's way cooler than some computer-generated image. That's pretty cool. That'll work. What I'm building is a take on this classic coffin tank, they call it. Has flat sides, kind of faceted, sort of like a diamond, or like a coffin. The coffin tanks are pretty basic because they're just flat panels bent on a sheet metal brake. It's pretty simple. No English wheel, no special hammers. You just bend flat panels and weld them together. See what the hem edge does? Makes a really rigid end to weld on. Just as an example, when they're welding together, you'll have 2 of these heavy edges folded over double. You can see how if I bend it, it's going to interfere with the next panel. So I got to clamp these to the table and fold them with a hammer. This is pretty cool because it shows that you don't really need all the fancy tools to do this type of thing. This is the last bend. This type of fabrication really reflects everything I've been doing, is just try to figure it out and make it happen. I've never had the luxury of so many fancy tools. Sometimes you just gotta go backwards, like this. A couple pieces of tube and a couple clamps. Done. This type of gas tank's kind of old school, no special forming, it's all flat panels. The key here is making sure it's all welded solid. If the welds aren't good, it's gonna leak. If it leaks, you're on fire. That's no good. I like to use the MIG welder to spot weld all the panels together. It's really quick to mock it up with the MIG. Later I can TIG weld it and then it'll be liquid tight. Looks good. Oh yes. Starting to look like a motorcycle. See, the idea is if you break down, you can just roll home. It's pretty easy. The next step is to create these little inner fender wells. Obviously, I don't want to be rubbing on those things. It's tight. Keep the pants off the tires. Just a little extra guard. I'm always open to using existing parts. Sometimes it brings you fresh ideas. Just thinking about what's around. My friend Bill's got a set of tractor fenders, and they might be perfect for this. I love the idea of a freestanding fender. There's nothing for these things to attach to, and it's exactly the way a tractor fender's set up. Now this is what I'm talking about. It's crazy because this tractor has almost the look of the little seating position that's gonna be in the trike. These fenders, I might just take these and modify them. It's exactly what I have on the trike. The seat right here, the tire's very close, and these do the same thing as I'm talking about. You see the rubber, and they just protect the rider from falling into the tire. That's it. Nobody's got fenders like that, baby. You're in your little chamber. Well, you're definitely protected from the tires. But, they look absolutely ridiculous. These fenders are not gonna work. These fenders are a little too Flash Gordon for me. It just makes me think of a clown with a big tie on, you know, big shoes. It's just not cool. It's gonna look comical, and I'm not looking for that. My plan is to duplicate this design, but smaller, half size. I'm gonna use a round rod all the way around the perimeter, and then finish it off with a sheet on the surface. Here is an improvised arch maker. I need to create a radius around those tires. There's a lot of ways to bend tubing. Sometimes I just do it primitive. It works for me. Weld the end, flip her over, and roll out the barrel. This rim made the ring too small, so I'm just gonna stretch it out on this tire. It's always easier to open the arch up than to try to shrink it down. So the idea here is to get this to be about just a half inch or an inch off of the surface all the way around the tire, kind of like here. So all you do is just start to beat on it. Right about there. So this puts an even half-inch perimeter all the way around. Now that I got these hoops around the tire, the rest of the skeleton of the body is going to be the same rod. So I'm just making some pieces that go around the tire and hold it up. Now I'm gonna set up a couple little braces so that these hoops don't fall off the tire. Really, the only way you can create these shapes is by eye. You just put it in, give it a little twist, put it back on. So I'm gonna create a little sheet metal edge that'll come from this side to this side and just put a little crown in it. This is why a man would want soft cardboard, for those very delicate areas. So my plan, cut the steel a little bit bigger. This is just a rough guide. I got some pretty cool air shears. Eastwood sent them over. They work perfect. one of those instances where you realize you can never have too many clamps. You can see it swings down and then out and then back around, and it's all one panel. It's gonna be a lot easier when it comes to bodywork because there's no welded seams. Some people may cut it on the highs and lows, but I just swung it right around. In the end, I'm gonna paint these fenders so they look like some kind of a carnival freak show. I want it to look like you're locked in on some kind of a wild ride. All right. It's getting closer. The whole idea with the fenders, you can see now, your legs ain't gonna rub. It's perfect. You got just enough to keep you off of that. Still got your wheelchair action. It's pretty cool. Something about the bars that were on the forks, they just looked a little too small proportionally in relation to the rear tires especially. I just want the bars to be a little bit more forward and not so down in the wrists. I want them kind of straight out. I feel like with those giant back tires, the handlebars should be a little beefier, so I'm gonna make them out of this 1.5-inch round. See on the top of the bars how they come backwards towards the rider. I don't want that much angle. I want them to be a little bit more forward. I want a little bit of pullback, so I'm just gonna put this piece of bar stock under it. And I'll set up the angles like so. And that should be good. Just kind of winging it, whatever looks good. If they don't look good, I'll make another set. How's that sound? Right now, I'm just trying to make sure that they're both even. You don't want one limp arm, right? So I'm keeping these angles parallel, straight through, and then they're the same distance off the table. And that's all there is to it. Another issue with the forks that were on the bars was the risers. I thought they looked a little bit too spread out. I wanted something right down on the headset so that the springs really showed. These are the risers. They're gonna weld on the bottom of the handlebars. Instead of bolting on like those, it'll be a clean, clean look. See, I welded the little nut inside. Then there's the bottom plate. Makes it very, very strong. Feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. Born to be mild. The bike's really coming together. It's got the flavor. The handlebars were like the final touch with the fabrication. It's on. Now that the fabrication's done, I'm really starting to think about some crazy paint job ideas. But even that's getting ahead of myself. I need to make sure this motor runs. It's been sitting around for a while, and I hope it still works. This build's coming along great. The next big thing I gotta deal with is the engine. So I'm gonna try to adapt a Volkswagen carburetor to this Honda engine. I had this thing laying around, I just put a rebuild kit in it. Aside from my personal belief that everything should have a bit of Volkswagen in it, they're basically the same shape engines. A VW is a flat 4 boxer motor. The Honda Goldwing's the same thing. From the factory, the bike came with 4 independent carburetors with a big junction box that was the air cleaner. It was really well designed for maximum performance, but they're gone. In looking at the Volkswagen motors, they have a center carburetor with a long runner connecting both cylinder banks, and then they have a short splitter like on the dual port manifolds. It seems that they tried to make this as even and short as possible. So I'm gonna try to replicate that. Bought these U-bends, and of course they're not the right radius. They don't match from cylinder to cylinder. So the first step is to cut them so that they fit the existing intake from the Honda. The Honda motor and a Volkswagen motor, this style, are pretty similar. I don't see why this intake wouldn't work. Those two half circles you see coming out of the castings will get welded together, and then there'll be a port cut on the inside edge of each of them where the crossover tube mounts. Next, I'm gonna make a tube that crosses over the engine. After that, just make a riser for the carburetor and weld a base plate on. I'm using the same size tube and making a cross member that goes left to right on the engine. It'll look kind of like a dog bone, but I'll put it upright in the center of that holds the carburetor. It's gonna go 10,000 miles per hour. It's amazing. This intake is just a shot in the dark. It's my best guess, just like everything else I build. I'm just winging it. Found this cool little air cleaner. It's more just like a wire screen, but I modified the end of it so that it fits the VW carb. And now you understand why the frame has that strange shape in the front. See, that sits just like that. Pretty slick. So all I need to do now is just make a tube that goes up and holds the carb. Like most things, best laid plans never seem to come to fruition that easy. This isn't gonna work at all. I didn't take into consideration the way the throttle linkage is gonna hit the manifold. Pretty much married to the idea of the intake being this shape. I gotta come up with a way to make this work. I think I'm just gonna make a curved tube that sets the carb a little bit forward. I had intended it for it to be right on top of the intake, but it's gonna be a little bit offset. Yeah, the motor's rigid mounted, it's not gonna shake, so the carb won't hit the frame. It's all good. Bitchin'. I think it looks great. It's exactly what I was thinking. You always gotta jump hurdles to get there. In the end, it's what I wanted. Now that I got the intake squared away, I'm stoked. It looks like it's gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna work. It's time to try to start this thing. It's the moment of truth. All right, let's try to give it some fire. Every internal combustion engine is pretty much the same theory, so I knew somewhere it wasn't getting electricity where it needed it. No spark. There's this red wire just sitting here. I don't know if that goes to power. There's a little thing in here. It's no more ignition points. So this magnetic module needs power. That's what it is. Aha. So somebody changed out the points to this cool little electronic ignition. I had this whole motor rigged. The wires were twisted together. There was no fuel tank, no exhaust. I don't even know if there was oil in it. I just wanted to hear it go. Prepare for start. As soon as I put power to that red wire, like a light switch, it started right up. Next step is to get the tank and the fenders painted. Pull this motor back out, shine it all up, run the fuel lines, electricity, and ride it. This bike is bitchin'. I'm really stoked. I mean, it totally works. It feels good, it's got plenty of power. I couldn't have done it better myself. It's perfect. If you just want to have fun, enjoy something, goof off, this is the bike for you. The whole thing with this is to look like a giant toy. It looks like a big wheel. It's one thing to think about a project, but to see it right there, it's great. It's what I live for. My whole thing is just trying to push it, trying to push the boundaries. It's easy to make something that's already cool. I want to do something new. Paint's really kind of a loose interpretation of like a psychedelic 60s chopper kind of thing. You know, it's got the pearlies and the flakes and stuff. I just thought it fit. I mean, I think it works really good with the bike. You can't go wrong with an octopus gas cap, and that's like next level. It's a squeaky toy, it was a dog at you. It looked like a gas cap. The whole rear of the bike was really just something to take your eyes away from the radiator. It's a really simple setup. It's just a mesh screen, covers the radiator. There's 6 exhaust tips, 3 on each side, some cool, old school British taillights, and that's it, bodywork. It's a liquid cool bike, so I really just tried to make it look like a royal throne. That was the chopper vibe. Throne on wheels, and hey, there it is. I just finished the trike. I brought it out here to the Born Free show to reveal it, and it's on. Born Free show was the perfect venue to take this to. It's just mellow, good vibes, great show. I feel like this show really embodies that 60s, 70s hand-built bike vibe. You see a lot of really long bikes, thin tires, everything that was happening before the mass production.
I have a trike myself, a chopper trike Ironhead. And this one here is totally hand-built. It's one of a kind, totally unique. Whoever put this together knew what they wanted as opposed to anything else. I mean, you're not going to see 2 of them. And we're looking at the drive shaft on this, going to the rear end axle. Just it's totally unique.
I've always built Japanese bikes, and I noticed this had an old Goldwing motor in it. That's from the same era as the bikes I build, so I came over and took a look at it. I like all the angles, you know. I like a style of bike called a digger, and they had angled tanks like that, you know, like mid-70s sci-fi type of stuff. And I noticed that before I even realized it had the Japanese motor in it. Once I saw the Goldwing, that just topped it off. Didn't notice it until we stood here, but it's got a seat off a lawnmower on it, you know, and it's perfect. Nobody would ever guess, but I mean, he did the same thing, just home built, different ideas, and it works perfectly.
The whole thing behind what I'm doing is it is meant to be displayed. It's meant to be exhibited, thrown out there for everybody.
It's pretty sick. You can make a Honda Goldwing look cool.
And a badass trike that's like super short. I don't think it probably pops wheelies like no other.
A lot of ingenuity in it, very clean.
The reason I wanted to build this trike in the 70s style is because I guess the 70s style bike was a little more experimental, it's more creative, and I just like that aspect of it.
It's kind of like the weirder it is, the more it sticks out. So.
Yep, yeah, more people like it.
It's hard to describe exactly why I need to do this, and that really is the proper word. I need to do this. As I understand it, you only live once, and for whatever reason, I need to build these things. Being at a show like this, the Born Free, it really turns you on. No other way to put it. These guys have it nailed. It really makes me want to build something else. The next thing I build is really defined by what's laying in the scrap pile. That's how this thing was built.
right now on Full Custom Garage. Master metalman Ian Roussel transforms an old jalopy into a street-burning hot rod.
My friend Don has a real steel 1931 Ford. It's a 5-window coupe. That's a perfect starting point.
But Ian's unorthodox approach doesn't sit well with his traditional client.
There's times I sit and go, okay, Ian, what are you thinking about? Because he's picking up the strangest part to put on my car.
This is like work, you know? I'm at work here trying to make a really bitchin' car, but I gotta get back to my shop. There's something I've been looking to finish, and I gotta get to it.
Back at the lab, Ian attempts to resurrect a crazy creation.
This car is really kind of the opposite of what Don's is. His is for the street, this is for the show. All it does is get off the trailer, show up at the club, and do its dance.
And later at Don's, things start heating up.
I'd say a significant event occurred in my absence. Hot rods are a purely American thing. They started with early Fords mostly, 20s and 30s Fords. As I understand, GIs came home from World War II, and they wanted to go fast. These were made from cheap cars that were just sitting around, just waiting to be hot rodded. The primary reason these cars were modified was to go fast. The looks just kind of followed the function. Chop top, for instance, was to streamline the car. These cars had big, tall, square roofs. So the chop top came about from hot rodding. The big draw to these cars is that they're just a blast to drive. They're lightweight, big horsepower. It's just a pretty gnarly experience. These cars are really desirable. They're making fiberglass reproductions, all steel reproductions. So to find an original surviving all metal body, that's the best starting point.
Ian and I have been friends for a while. We've worked on several projects together. He gets excited coming over here to see all the projects that I have. I like things a little more simple, and Ian's way more creative.
This is like ideal hot rod material. It's a little bit too far gone if you needed to restore it. All the mechanical parts are junk, but for a hot rod, this body is really good.
Just as we started this project, I was injured, and I've been laid up for almost a year now. And this has been the best therapy, with Ian as motivated as he is, and me knowing I wanted to finish this project and get it going, the relationship on that worked out really good.
Don's wanted to bring this car back to life for years. It's literally, I don't know, 30 years, 40 years sitting around.
This car's been in the family for almost 50 years now. It needed to do something with it. It was just a cool car.
I love this car. It's really old. It's not rotten. It's been through some stuff. It's an old car. Got crunched in on the side. The frame is toast, but the body is totally usable.
It had been heavily damaged in an accident when it was in storage. And that kind of took the wind out of the sails on putting it back to original. And that's when we truly decided to go all out with it and build a new frame for it. I have a lot of ideas the way I want this car to come out. And Ian's creative mind, I'm sure he's got a lot more different ideas as well. So this is going to be interesting on this project.
There's a show coming up. I just want to go see what's around, get some inspiration, and start this new project. The Ventura Nationals has gone through a couple different transitions. It used to be called the Primer Nationals, but the primered cars have evolved into, like, you'll see, full custom blowout. This show is happening. Looking at other 31 Fords, this is like straight cool traditional custom. This is a lot like Don's in that it's a highboy. It's on the stock frame. It's running a Chevy V8 motor. It's just, you know, this is a really clean car. It's the way you would see it done in the 50s or 60s. And it's just a bitchin' look. The way they got the paint set up, it looks kind of old and patinaed. But this is a real hot rod. Good stuff. It's the same year. It's a 31 Ford. It's unchopped. It's a highboy. It's up on top of the frame. This one I consider even more traditional. It has the wishbones, but they haven't been split, so it sits taller. It's got a flathead V8 motor in it. It's totally legit hot rod. It's the real deal. The exhaust on this car is bitchin'. I really like it. It makes a mess, but it looks awesome. Seems like everything with hot rods has been done. I'm always trying to break new ground, but I see these traditional cars that are pretty mellow, and they're damn nice. Kinda on the fence. I know where I want to go, but sometimes you just gotta hold back. We really started this project about a year ago. I built a whole frame for it, and we haven't done anything since. I made the whole front clip look like a stock car. That's when the debate really started.
I wanted to lengthen it out about 8 inches just so we'd have more room in the cab of the car. I'm trying to build it as comfortable as I can.
The problem with extending the wheelbase is it's not that Model A hot rod that you see on the lakes in the 50s. Those cars were running a stock wheelbase most of the time, and that's the look.
But I was going for more of the practical look, had to make it comfortable.
Don really wanted room in the footwell, so we ended up making the chassis 6 inches longer. For the rear part of the frame, I used 2x3, 1/8 wall, and I used the Model A frame as a template where I put this little jog in it. I just set that up and took the 2x6, just made a join and then plated them with a 1/4 inch plate on the outsides all the way around. We don't have a proper hot rod front axle, so I'm looking for something that looks like it. Don's got a 59 Ford truck in the back, and I think I can modify that to work. Since we need a front axle for the 31, I did this on another car, like a T-bucket I built. I used a truck axle. So it's cool because these straight axles, they have hydraulic brakes. They got the old school wide 5 bolt pattern. The cool thing about this axle is Don's already got it. It's here, it's got a great brake setup. A lot of guys would convert their cars to truck brakes, and really that's the main benefit. I'm just using the whole axle, but it's all about stopping. It's a no-brainer. I'm just gonna cut off the leaf spring mounts and create a new mount for the hot rod style spring. All right, so that's the deal. The main thing I'm gonna have to do before I start, see these pads where the old leaf springs used to mount? I'm gonna cut straight through and then weld a bracket on to hold the new radius rods. I'm cutting off the brackets that held the parallel leaf springs. That's the way the 59 truck was set up, but I want a transverse leaf spring. I'm making new mounts to hold this new style spring. It's pretty straight ahead, it's just gotta be really strong. I'm making the setup so that it holds the radius rods and the spring, so it's really just a bunch of 1/4 inch plate. It's basically just a big steel gusset structure that locates the axle. That's all. That's what I do, man. Just using what's available. Anybody can get in the catalog and pick a number, but I'm making it. This axle's done. I painted it black. It's a very simple thing. Just a bunch of bolts at this point, and it's ready to roll. Don ordered the radius rods from the catalog.
I don't have a problem with ordering from the catalog. I'm trying to make his job a little bit easier.
Don had the rear end he wants to use, so I put on some brackets, hooked up the 4-link kit. Now we got a rolling chassis. Found this Chevy truck steering box, mounted it to the frame. It's gonna work great. The challenge is mating it up to the Ford front axle. They're different ends on the drag link. With every car I've made like this, I've had to make a custom length drag link. So when you put the end on, you just use the Chevy on one side and the Ford on the other.
With all the stuff that I have around here, Ian really has never asked me to go buy anything for a project.
I really like using stuff that's around. There's sometimes you can't get away from ordering parts, bushings, heim joints, that type of thing. But I really just like to find stuff and modify it to fit what we're doing. I think that's the whole thing about being a fabricator. Instead of a restoration-minded person, I'm looking for stuff that I can use, cut it apart, and make it happen. Somebody who's restoring a car is looking for the proper thing that bolts back on. Now that it rolls and steers, there's a few other mechanical things I gotta wrap up and then get on to the aesthetics. So the engine and transmission are basically out of a '67 Mustang. So we're using the same radiator. I built a simple angle iron frame to support it, and it's gonna get held on with 2 bolts to the frame like the stock one, and then it'll just have 2 locating rods to keep it upright that hit the cowl. This is pretty rad. It's a 32 Ford. It's a reproduction grill shell. All right, we're still waiting to figure out what we do about the insert, but that's pretty much the setup. The next step is to mount the headlights and then create some kind of a shock bracket. Typical setup on the Model A hot rod is the headlight mounts have an integral shock mount. It's another thing you could order from the catalog, but I'm trying to make this car Don's. Put as many unique things in it as you can, so I'm just gonna make them. Make them out of some 1/4-inch steel plate, and really, it's a no-brainer. The whole thing about this setup is strength. Those headlights are nice. You don't want them falling off. So the shock absorber is gonna be pushing and pulling on the headlight mount. It's gotta look cool, it's gotta be super strong. You can't mess with these headlights. Polished stainless steel with the cool little lights on top. Money, it's good stuff. This body is 80, 90, whatever years old. It's super old. We had to take it and do a bunch of work underneath. We got replacement wheel arches, a couple replacement quarters, and it's really just cut and weld. Body work, sand, sand, sand. We finally get the thing pretty dialed in. It's time to see how it looks as a roller. Don's got the treasure. He's got this Chevy truck steering box, but it ain't gonna work. The stock truck steering box is just one long rod. It's a straight shot from the steering wheel to the box. The Model A is way smaller, so we gotta bend it a bit. Took the steering shaft, cut it a few times, put in 2 universal joints and a couple mounts. There you have it. It's a bent steering rod, and it works perfect. The whole deal is getting the steering wheel in a comfortable position to drive. The steering box is pretty far off from where it would have been in the stock location. Car's lower, so we had to modify the steering shaft. Getting the steering column together was pretty important. You can research or think about anything as much as you want, but the proof is in the test, and it works great. Once I saw the body on the chassis, all I could think was chop top, but Don's hesitant.
This car is an all original, it's an all steel car. I would like to keep it looking as much like an original car as I can. That's why I'm really dragging my feet on chopping the top on this one.
In the end, Don's looking for a comfortable driving car, so no chop top. I'm just trying to help Don build his car. Every Model A has a hole in the roof. Can't get around it. One of the cool factors is it really gives you an opportunity to kind of make your mark. I've been looking around all over, trying to figure out what's gonna be cool. Don's got a bunch of van roofs, he's got car hoods, car trunks, all kinds of stuff. Looking around, I come up on this Mustang hood, and it's pretty thrashed. This is a '69 Mustang hood. The car got wrecked. I cut it out about the same size as the roof opening in the Model A. It's got a neat crease down the center, and it's worthless as a replacement hood. So we were talking about using it to fill the hole in the roof. The contour fits. And it's got this cool little detail in the roof. The selling point to me was the ridge in the hood. The ridge in the hood immediately made me think of a 50s trick where they would put these little air vents in the roof of the car. So that's really what I was hoping to do. I mean, I already had this thing built in my head.
I'm not really sure about the scoop Ian's talking about on the back. I'm, more leaning towards a original stock car. But as creative as Ian is, you have to step back. He's so creative. I mean, there's times I sit and go, okay, Ian, what are you thinking about? Because he's picking up the strangest part to pick up and put on my car. It amazes me that you never know where he's gonna go with something.
So I'll probably mellow out these two side ridges a little bit, and they'll just have a center peak right through the hood. It's like I can finally get creative on a very conservative build, which is like my release valve. Finally, I can do something inspiring. The whole deal with this roof insert is the car can buckle. This is a pretty structural point, so I'm having to clean out all the old crud. The whole deal is just grinding all the edges, getting it super clean so we can mate the sheet metal up, and it's a good, strong weld. Because if this car goes in a driveway or something, gets some torsional twists, the roof is gonna pop up. It's really important that this is strong, so we're setting it up so it's really strong. This is a huge sheet metal panel, and I don't want to warp it. There's a million ways to jig it up, but I found that tech screws, just screwing it down every few inches, works perfect. So that's the plan. Just screw it down. We'll come back and fill up the holes later with weld. Pretty much it. I'll just weld this on. It's going to take a long time to make all the tack welds. It's about 16 linear feet of welding, so stand by. It's all screwed together and there's no warps or kinks, so it's gonna be a slow welding process, round and round for hours. It takes so long to spot weld a big panel like this. I mean, your thoughts can go anywhere, but mostly for me, it's like the sound of a long, empty hallway with a slight breeze coming through it. It's just nothing. You can't think too much when you're doing this or you go crazy. It takes a long time. The satisfaction comes in the end result, because a lot of guys will want to work through it too fast, and I know what happens. I've been there. So really, I've trained myself to just slow down time. Just take your time and do it right. It's not that hard to weld this on correctly. The whole deal is not heating it up. And if you do heat it up, you got to know how to recover from it. And that's really where the hammer welding comes in. Each time the weld cools down, it shrinks a bit. So nothing's perfect. Some spot welds will be hotter than others. So if you find that it's starting to oil can on you, it gets out of shape, you got to hammer it back before you do the next weld. It's really just keeping the metal under control. It's just a slow process. You got to do it right. Once the welding's all done, you just grind it out. It's the same deal that you don't want to heat it up because you can warp it when you're grinding it. So you got to know where you're going. Just take your time and get it right. When I'm grinding it, I'm just making sure I don't heat it up. I try to keep the edge of the disc on the weld. Never hit the sheet metal. It's really just, you gotta pay attention. Last part of the equation is the Bondo. Mix it up, fill it, go on to primer. The whole purpose of the Bondo is to level the surface. So you mix it up, spread it, cut it back real fast. Get as much of the material off as possible because you want the paint to be as close to the metal as possible. The whole idea with Bondo is using as little as possible, so I like to work fast. I found that I can use this big old saw blade, and it's like 10 grit sandpaper. So if you use it right, it goes really quick. You just sling off the high spots real fast, just go to 36 grit after that. Don's car is bitchin' and all, but it's really not the creative entity that I am looking for. It's like, this is like work, you know? I'm at work here. I'm trying to make a really bitchin' car, but I gotta get back to my shop. There's something I've been looking to finish, and I gotta get to it. Working on Don's hot rod has got me thinking about this car I built about 5 years ago. It's a total show car. It just had some suspension issues, and it's really making me want to bring it back. I took the whole car apart to freshen it up, and what I'm gonna really do is make the suspension work. There's a few really cool ideas, but without the final touches, it's pretty much unusable. This is the freaking mess. It's a pretty nonsensical car. This is the bare frame. The motor and transmission are in it because it's so high fashion, it requires a ton of disassembly to get the engine out. So today, I just gotta come up with a plan. When I originally built the car, I had taken 2 airbags and stacked one on top of the other so they would blow up like an accordion. They were huge. So the airbags, you can see what I did. I just hogged out the threads on this so they just located. So they would fit together like that, a double stack. But the problem was with the arc of the suspension, they would literally turn into a noodle. And if the axle twisted, then they would come apart. They would pop out of the car. So this bag would be here, and then it would just literally break free. The worst thing was that the car could barely even get on the trailer. Even as a trailer queen, it couldn't do that one simple task. The cool factor is it looks like a toy. It looks fake. It was a super simple design. The 2-link is okay, but it needs a third. It needs something to stop it from going left to right. The whole deal with this modification is I do have to put in suspension components and basically busy up the design a little. I'm trying to make it look as cool as it did in the beginning, but without these extra parts, it just doesn't work. My challenge is to make it look as cool as possible and still drive. What I had established, obviously you got plenty of up and down movement, you got articulation in the axle, but I need to stop it from going side to side. So the fix is a 3rd link, some kind of a rod with a joint that as the suspension moves up and down, it swings with it, but it stops it from moving side to side. That's the fix. I might put shocks just inside here. This is all hidden. Might come off with shocks on each side like that. That way it'll give it a little help when it articulates and rises and falls. This is still a show car. It doesn't need to drive across town. It's got no VIN numbers. It's got no license plates. It's not an off-road vehicle. It just needs to get on the trailer. I need to get it out of the storage and back to the show. Goal today is to get this thing to have shocks and a 3rd link in the suspension. I was able to get a couple shocks, Volkswagen front shocks from an early 60s bug. I figured they're gas charged, so this isn't a performance car. These were around, and I'm gonna make them fit, even if they wouldn't otherwise. Went digging around in my friend Don's back lot. I was able to come up with an old tie rod from a car. I always like to put a little Volkswagen in every project. I'm using VW front shocks, and I found this tie rod at Don's I'm gonna make into a 3rd link for the suspension. I just cut one end off. I have to cut it to length, but I think this will work perfect for the cross link. I'll have to come up with a couple mounts and mount this crossways in here so that as the suspension travels up and down, it won't go side to side. The first step today is to create an upper shock mount. I'm really trying to make this thing look like it belongs on the car and not an afterthought. So it's got to be strong and it's got to look as cool as the rest of the vehicle. I've really been tossing around a few ideas on how to build this thing. What I really know is that I don't want to grind on the frame. I don't want to disturb the paint work that's there. So I'm trying to come up with a creative idea that'll bolt on. What this needs to do for functionality is locate the upper bushing on the shocks. I got a whole bunch of this, it looks like 1x3 or so rectangular tube. So if that sits on here, then once the shock is collapsed, it comes out to just about the right measurement. So if I set that up like that with a bolt going through, that should work perfect. They're gas charged, they gotta be really secure, it's gotta be a strong part, and it's gotta look cool. I'm trying to make this thing look like it belongs on the car, and I've got drilled holes all over the thing. Some are dimpled, some are all the way through, so probably gonna come up with some kind of a thing that matches parts of the suspension. I just cut an 11-inch piece of that 1x3 rectangular stock, drilled a bunch of holes, it took a while. I left the ends without holes because I'm gonna put 2 small pieces of tube so I can put a bolt through it. I used a TIG welder to fit the bushings on the end of this rectangular bar. I did that primarily so it's a really neat weld, simple, minimal, there's no finish work, it just looks cool. The whole concept with this from the beginning was to make it look like it wouldn't work. So I'm still trying to keep all these functioning parts kind of minimalistic standpoint. When you look at the car, I don't want you to see a bunch of accessories bolted on. I'm trying to keep it low key. All right, so that worked out good. But the shocks, I think I'm gonna trim these shocks a little bit because that looks too stock. So this whole upper shock looks pretty bulky. You don't really need this. This is just like a shield for a street car. You'll see what the deal is. I'll just cut this whole top off and it'll look pretty clean. The whole idea is this being a show car, I want you to look at the flashy stuff. This isn't a focal point, this is purely function. Taking these upper shrouds off of the shock, just because it makes them look a little lighter, a little cooler. You got a nice shiny chrome rod coming out of it. Just looks cooler. They put these shrouds on it for cars on the street, keeps water, rocks, any kind of crud out of the moving part. But this doesn't have that. This car's never gonna be in the rain or in the mud, so no crud's gonna go down into the shock absorber. So it was primarily for looks. It looks bitchin'. The primary difference in the setup between Don's and my car is I'm using an airbag system. They both have a center mount, but his leaf spring is the thing that locates the axle and keeps it centered. My design for the airbag doesn't have anything to keep the axle centered, so I need to put this third link in. That'll keep it from self-destructing. The whole idea with this being on airbags is it's got to function. It's got to move up and down pretty quickly. It's got to look cool and be strong. Everything seems to be working, but you never know what could go wrong. I mean, this is a raw chassis. Everything seems to be operating, but I'll never know until I get the thing assembled, so we'll see. Spent a bunch of time getting some stuff done on my car, and that's cool, but really I love to finish projects. Don's car is so close, it's good to get back here. I'm really looking forward to driving the thing.
It's great to have Ian back. While he was gone, I was finishing up on running the brake lines, the fuel lines, some of the electrical that's going into the car. And now that he's here, now we can get down to business on getting that thing closer to being fired up.
Mechanically, Don's got down on all the hoses, wires, brake lines, emergency brake cable. Everything mechanical is complete. Bolting in the drive shaft and modifying the rear forelink are the last two things, and mechanically, it's there. Cool factor times 10. We got some Coker tires, installed some radial white walls, 165s in the front, 235s in the back. It's got the classic big and little hot rod look. The diameter of the rear tires looks great. The frame has got the proportions I like. You gotta see it with the body on. That's what makes it all together. That's what makes it count. Well, the body's in good position. I gotta see what this thing looks like. Been waiting a long time. A lot of effort's gone into getting this far, so let's see what it looks like in the sunlight. I like it, sir.
I like it too.
It's so nice to finally see this car going someplace. It's been sitting for 40 some odd years. Now to see it getting so close, I'm so excited about getting that car running and getting it down the road. It is absolutely bitchin'. I couldn't have asked for a better car.
You've seen this car kind of mocked up 100 times already, but with the tires and the paint, this thing is ready. It's looking good. The last bit of fabrication is the exhaust dumps. Don's got a bitchin' set of headers, and they need mufflers. We're bolting on the headers, and I'm gonna fabricate the rest of the exhaust. Don got these old school glass packs. He wants to run them underneath the doors along the frame like that. Took a whole bunch of cut and welds, but it actually gave it a better shape in the end. I trimmed it back until it has this like flowing rearward, kind of a mellow curvature. It looks good. That's pretty much the layout. I'm gonna take it off and finish weld it, sand it up nice. Don's gonna paint the whole assembly black. So the last bit is just to put a gasket on here. I'm not gonna put it together finally until we're really done, but this is the gist of it. So you got it and it's shut off. It flows out through the mufflers. So it's a 2.5 outlet with a 2-inch end pipe and muffler. But if he goes out to the salt flats or just wants to annoy his neighbors, he can open it up. It'd be like a marching band coming down the street. Without mufflers, this car will be pretty rowdy, you know. Everybody would know who's coming through town. Don's looking to be a little more discreet. He's a little more mature than I am.
We're ready to install this. An aftermarket air cleaner that looks just fantastic.
Usually wiring a car for me is kind of tedious, but I'm gonna try out this wiring harness kit. It looks like it's all there. It's painless, so they say. And all the wires are labeled. Pretty slick. Cool factor number 2, we got a wiring kit from Painless. It's a big hassle to come up and build your own wiring harness from a bare fuse block. So we got this kit and it has everything. The crazy thing about wiring harnesses is there's always a million wires. And this one is color coded. Each wire is labeled like a tiny little silk screen machine. I don't know how they do it. Every wire tells you what it goes to. So although it looks like a crazy bundle, they're all telling you what to do with them. It's really a time saver. And it's pro, you know it works. They got a great reputation. We're there. All we gotta do is button up a few things, start it, and run it. We're in the closing stages of this car. Don's project is just wrapping up. Today's the day we start it. It's all assembled, pretty much just up to the accessories and then the start.
Today's the day. It's all coming together. We're finally going to fire this thing up and put it on the road. I am so excited about this.
Gotta put the taillights on, the deck lid, gotta put the seat in, and the steering column. Pretty minor nuts and bolts. The only thing left to figure out is this third brake light.
When Ian was gone, I went ahead and I got some LED lights.
In my absence, the hood scoop, this great styling element, has become a third brake light. Very interesting.
I like the practicality of the safety part of it because the car sits fairly low, that I think that's going to work out really good.
He wired some wires up through the body, and he put these LEDs inside. In the end, it's all about craftsmanship. You know, that is a very custom third brake light. Our plan is to take an old taillight from a car and just cut that shape out. We talked about it. Don wanted a third brake light, and I said, there's no way you're putting one in the back window. So hiding it in the hood scoop was a better choice. The first step was to cut out the shape from the whole lens. We only need a small piece of red plastic, basically. Just creeped up on it. First I cut it with like a heavy cutting disc, and then I used a sander to just creep up on the final shape. I put a little bevel in it as it meets the body. It'll be like a 45-degree angle, so it'll sit right up against the flange that is in the body. We'll just glue in the seam with a little bit of silicone and just call that done.
Oh, look at that. Boy, somebody will see me from miles away. Perfect. Another wonderful job by FM Ian.
The final step of the whole freaking build. We're there. Don's gonna set up some tool to raise the oil pressure. The motor's been sitting for years, so Don needs to bring up the oil pressure and then rotate the engine a few times and get everything lubricated. I'm pretty stoked. Don turned the key and the thing popped right off. It fired right away. The compression and everything in the motor seems cool. It's firing fine, but it's not delivering fuel. I'm not sure what the deal is. It's pulling the fuel up out of the tank, but it's like sort of just pulsing. It's not really delivering the gas the way it should. For some reason, the gas isn't getting to the engine. Don's gonna set up something with a fuel pump or whatever, but I gotta take off. I gotta pick up a car and deliver it to another client. So I'm gonna come back in about an hour. Should wrap this up and we're gonna run this thing. We're ready to rock. I'd say a significant event occurred in my absence. This fire could have got out of control. Apparently there was too much fuel pressure and the whole engine seems to have caught on fire.
Let's get outside. Yeah, bring it up.
What happened was the seat and the carburetor stuck open. So it was pushing all the fuel out. of the carburetor, and I think there was a spark when I went to pull off the wire, and I think that's what ignited it.
It takes a lot to get me excited. I'm a pretty mellow dude, so you know, seeing a car that was freshly incinerated, it's pretty exciting. I can't say I was really disappointed because it's exciting, you know. I'm into that kind of stuff. It's a bummer. The car's filthy now, but pretty cool. Not everybody catches their brand new car on fire.
It's not going to run tonight. It will run. It will make it to the show. It's just going to take cleanup time now.
Yeah, well, nothing's burnt. It's just dirty.
No. It's very minor damage.
Well, apparently getting gas isn't the problem now. It seems to get plenty of fuel. So I think we solved that problem. I guess all we got to do is wash it up and run it.
It's running. It's ready to go. We're going to the show. Well, I had to clean up the mess after the fire, and that was a little challenging, but we got all the powder off of the car. Have not fixed one burnt wire yet, but that'll get fixed later on, and adjusted the timing on it, and it's good to go.
I'm really happy with the way this whole build went because the car is easy to get in and out of. It's a nice car to drive. It handles well, it corners well, it stops well, and the wife can get in and out of it well. I'm just so tickled. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more, or a person that Ian's caliber to help me with my own personal project. Working with Ian, he has taught me that you can make things absolutely bitchin' with the simplest tools, the simple material, that you can take something and make the most awesome stuff with it. That I have learned from him. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, this is assembling it for the first time. It's still kind of a mock-up. I don't know if it's actually gonna work, but I got a pretty good idea, so we'll see. This car is really kind of the opposite of what Don's is. His is for the street, this is for the show. It's high fashion. All it does is get off the trailer, show up at the club, and do its dance. It has no other purpose except to get attention. The hardest part about this is that this is a finished, pristine show car. It's not like a mock-up. So I'm really trying to be careful. I want to assemble it, polish it, and show it. I got my car put all back together. The front suspension works great. I got it on the trailer and it's off to the rodeo.
Really excited, fire's out, car runs, and we're here. Very happy. I've had a lot of good reaction. The family just loves it. They can't wait to go for rides in it.
Seeing Don happy with the car, excited to drive it, I mean, that's what it's all about. Working with people and getting that type of response makes it happen for me. How you doing, man?
I guess what kind of engine? Like Pontiac, Oldsmobile?
Oldsmobile.
Okay.
48, yeah. Yeah.
How does it go?
Drives like a jalopy.
It's got some poop?
It's like an angry little go-kart.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that like about a 38 bone body?
It's a Chevy.
Oh, it's a Chevy?
Yeah, it's a 31 Chevy.
I'll be
See
darned.
all the extra lines in the body? Yeah.
Well, what was it, a two-door sedan or
It was a 4-door.
Oh, and you shortened it up?
Everything, yeah. Yeah, I shortened it a little.
Made it
The whole
channel,
9 yards.
chopped it,
Channeled it, sectioned it, and painted the mother pink.
Well, what a car. I've never seen nothing like that in my life. I've been around for 77 years.
Right on.
That's cool.
To finally finish this monumental task and have people stoked on it is really rewarding. You know, I built the car for me, but the people like it.